Good morning. Happy Sunday, yogis. Great to have you on board. We're just getting started. Friends are streaming into the studio for Sunday Sacred Self-Care class. It's where the elite meet to get off their feet and finally feel complete. So settle in, no rush. Gather ye pets. It's a good class to have pillows and blankets and bolsters. Definitely coffee if you're a coffee drinker. And that's it. I'll see you. We'll get going. You lie on your back and look at the back of your eyelids. Okie doke. So we start in Shavasana. By the way, I do record this. None of your images or names are recorded. You're perfectly anonymous, which is right up my alley. Then I post it on YouTube, my YouTube page, so that you can take a class some other time during the week. Nice deep breath. Wiggle your legs out a couple of times. Moving into that beautiful fall time of year where it's so gorgeous in the Northern Hemisphere, wherever you are, except maybe the North Pole. I don't think any of you live there, but if you are joining from the North Pole, and enjoy. Nice deep breath if you haven't taken one for a few days or weeks or years. Swallow once, circle your jaw around, all the stifled screams that we have to stuff inside of ourselves from the misbehavior of others. You know who I'm talking about. No rush. We've been rushing all week, taking care of details and managing things and keeping everything in order and maintenance. And now we get to just pick up the oars and feel the larger current that's taking us along. It's good to be current with the current. Eyes roll back. Good. It feels like you can direct your breathings down to your belly button. Make a meditation. Meditation means paying attention to the rise and the fall of your belly button, to the exclusion of all the rest of our overly complicated lives. Not only do we have to manage ourselves, but of course we have to manage everyone else. And they try to manage us, and it gets complicated. So you can just let go of all that. Relax into the cosmic orchestrator of things. Good, you're doing good. You're doing nothing perfectly well. Continue doing nothing. You're right on schedule with doing nothing. If you need to fall asleep, I'll wake you up. Couple, 3 more minutes on the back, and then we'll figure out some other way to do nothing. Good. Now let's do that Sunday ritual that we do where we simply feel our feelings. As simple or trite as that sounds, go to the innermost of yourself and feel whatever your current feels are. Maybe you've been through a situation, a dilemma, or perhaps a tumultuous time with a lot of change. And sometimes we stuff feelings down because there's just not time to feel them in the present moment. We might think of urgent responding caregivers. I know it's an extreme example, but they go through so much, they can't take the time to feel it. So sooner or later, in order to stay sane and healthy, they do processes to feel. So just breathe what you feel what you breathe. Sometimes we're surprised at the feelings that are allowed to come up. To me, it's a very powerful, brave process to just feel and let the valves of feeling open up inside of us, and then realize we can tolerate, observe, incorporate, assimilate our feelings, those great energies we need to live. Good. And it's 11:11, at least where I am, and that means we're all one. So biggest, deepest inhale of your whole life, encapsulating all of your feelings. Big inhale. Exhale, let them all go. Empty the vessel, drain the brain. We are calm and spacious souls. It's good to empty out from time to time. No rush. No in a hurry to get to the next best thing. This is perfect right here. Good. Then if you would wiggle your fingers and toes and fill yourself up with consciously conjured feel good, love, bliss, joy, truth, wisdom, insight, beauty, peace. Yeah, that stuff. Good. Arms up to the ceiling, lace your hands, push your arms up over your head, point your toes forward, writhe around a little bit in first thing in the morning, cosmic unicorn, ecstasy, goofy grin on your face pose. That's why these poses are normally named in Sanskrit. Yeah, that stretchy, feel good for no apparent reason. Yeah, good. Draw your knees in, kind of hug your knees and roll around on your back. Your back is always back there that has your back. And so it's good to roll around on your back and tell your back that you love it. And your back might say, I'm back. And if you're going one direction, you ought to go the other direction because of the wonderful things it does. Good. Then can you reach up over your knees a little higher and just kind of hold yourself into a little ball for a sec? Not too tight. It's Sunday. If it was Saturday, I'd ask you to squeeze until you burst, but just a gentle hold, drop your chin, relax the back of your neck. If you need a blanket underneath your neck, that's not a bad idea at all. Squeezing is good. Squeezing is a good thing. And of course, you should be your own main squeeze, in addition to the supplemental squeezing you get from others. Okay, then we'll push or roll up, such as we are. And then we'll be sitting together, English not well speaking today. And then they raise their arms and they signal touchdown to one another. Great to see my friends. I presume you can hear me because I see an arm or two up there. Anyway, my name is Greg. That means that's completely irrelevant. Great to have you on board for Sunday Sacred Class. All my Zoomer friends, I know each and every one of you and I adore you. And then all the people joining via live stream. And then maybe you're watching this on YouTube recording some other time during the week. Irrespective of how you got here, you're here. And anytime two or more are gathered in the spirit, it increases our drawing or attraction power. So be open-minded and willing to insights, epiphanies, and realizations that are, well, in a word, wonderful. Anyway, I've caught a bug of some sort, so sorry for the froggy voice. I apologize. Close your eyes for a moment. This is not the hard class where we stretch our brains out. This is the yin yoga, calm and peaceful poses held for a few moments, sometimes a couple minutes. And a lot of it is simply to cool our jets, to slow down, especially if you're one of them go, go, go people. I know people like you. I know one intimately. Relax your chin down. Close your eyes. Are you brave and patient enough to go to the inside of your being and just feel that? So many distractions, yoga teachers, spouses. There's peace inside of there. And when you find peace, that opens the doorway to bliss and joy. That's the proper sequence: peace, and then bliss and joy. If you found bliss and joy without finding peace first, that's usually drugs and alcohol. Peace first. Okay, we'll chant Om together. And if you're new or have not done this, you're muted and you don't have to. But if you'd like to, it's really good for your vibes. Inhale. A big inhale if you haven't already. And a relaxed exhale. Let the presence and peace spread from head to toes. Why put the bliss off it till the end of class? Okay, now if you're a praying person, we can bring our prayerful hands to our heart. You could drop your chin and you could pray for the thing most wanted or needed in your life right now. So an opportunity to do that. If that's not for you, then just whatever you like. You know you need or want something, so be straightforward with God, source, love, being. Good, now press send. And now just a perfect willingness to let that come in the way that the cosmic orchestrator sees fit. And off we go with continuing to do nothing. Damn, this is a hard class. Drop your chin, take your head around 6 times. 1. We'll go through all the joints of the body, doing joint juice. If you're just getting into class, I may sound a little smoky and throaty, but I got a little bug, a couple bugs left in the system. 6, and can you go 6 the other way? We're doing 6 today because 6 is 2 less than 8. This is not the class for making sense. Stop making sense. 4, 5, and 6. Good job. Now from here, drop your chin down and find a little gaze point on the carpet or the floor or the mat. Just angle your eyes down and hold your eyes about halfway open. It's called the yoga Drishti gaze. And the key, the goal, the objective is to hold your eyes steady on one little point, not with intense focus, actually a very soft focus on one little point. Blinking is fine. Breathing is wonderful. But it's proven that holding your gaze steady stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system. When our eyes are darting all around, we're looking for predators, saber-toothed tigers, tax collectors, ex-spouses. But if your eyes are steady, you're sending a signal to your body that you're safe, because you are. If you do it long enough, sometimes you can see the underlying energy, prana, life force, light, whatever you want to call it, sort of throbbing, pulsing. It's either that or I'm having flashbacks from the 70s. Combination of the two. Good. Everything we're doing is designed to promote presence, shoulders. And while you're doing your shoulders, you could rub your knees a little bit. If you start feeling really good for no apparent reason, please continue. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Other way. 1. Good to see all of you. What a nice turnout. Thanks for joining. Thanks for participating. Thanks for bringing your vibe to the affair, because When you show up, you increase the attraction power of the group. This is why groups are so powerful. 6. It takes a village. 7. 8. 8 is great. All right. Now, lean back on your hands. Kind of comfy. You're just kind of watching a movie, kind of. Now, drop your chin. Let your elbows bend backwards. Just kind of hammock down into yourself. Eyes are closed. Chest collapses. Spine rounds backwards. Elbows bend. And you'll feel an obvious stretch of your wrists, fingers, forearms, shoulders, chest, mind, body, spirit. Yoga stretches our nervous system so that more joy and bliss fits inside of it. It's hard to put too much into a small container. Good. Now, just as easily, rocket your buns up, lift up into a mild back bend. If you're a circus performer, you can do a gigantic back bend. And if you're stiff as a boiled owl, you just lift a little bit and then you come on down. All comers are welcomed in this class. If you're a really flexible person, maybe you train yourself to dial down a little bit in Sunday class. And if you're a stiff person, you just do whatever you can. Switch the cross of your legs. Now we're going this way. We're going to do a little forward fold. But again, I counsel you to find the mysterious middle ground, not 1 or 11 on the 10 scale. Relax your head around. Your head is a kelp bed off of Monterey. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. And training our mind to slow down and become quiet is a practice. It's like playing the violin or learning to drive a car or anything. It's a trained capacity to slow down and pacify the mind. It's possible to go your whole life without learning it. Those are interesting lives. Good. Now from your fingertips, inhale, long spine, look forward to your bright future. Now that everything is going your way, exhale, deepen a little bit. So maybe now we go from 5 on the scale to 6. Maybe you're an extreme person. It's black and white or hot and cold with everything you do. So a training to feel middle ground is weird. Come up, friendly friends. These same paw parts go behind us. They slide back. And now we're doing hammock again, which is elbows bend backwards, chin drops, eyes closed. The feeling of almost touching your elbows behind your back, which some people can do, but it's not required. And I would like for you to feel your wrists, your forearms, your elbows, your shoulders, your chest, the back of your neck, relax. You don't have to think about the sequence. It's carefully curated for your enjoyment. I've spent about 40 years coming up with this sequence. Okay, now rocket ship your hiney to heaven. Champagne bottoms, caviar rears, lift up. Stretch your chest up through your shoulders as much as you want. Again, not overdoing it, but not underdoing it. And come on down. Post-nasal drip. I love it. Now, switch the cross of your legs. I've got a screensaver on, so there's no germs transmitted. Now, pull back on your hips, and now we'll come forward on this side. Come on down, kitty cats. Bendies, back off a bit, stiffies, feel the edge of your range of motion. Spread your shoulder blades apart, especially if you've been hunching your neck, back, and shoulders. say from the early 80s. Move your head around a little bit. All is well. Everything is unfolding perfectly, especially when it seems like it isn't. And we give the poses the tincture of time. Now we'll get a little freaky on this side and we'll walk our paws over to the right. That's not that freaky, is it? If you're a bendy person, you got to kind of lift your chest. If not so much, you just come over to your right, spread your hands, keep your left booty cheek down. Lose your marbles. We're swimming from the left side of our brain over to the right side. Analytical, figure everything out, to holistic, intuitive, spacious, present. Now, as you might imagine, you're just going to do handprints over to the other side. What feels about right for your shape and size? Are you sore today? Were you in the garden all day yesterday? Did you play golf yesterday? Did you pick up grandchildren and hold them over your head? What'd you do yesterday? Why are you sore today? It's good to be sore. It means you're using your bod, but there's good sore and there's bad sore. Good, now we'll plop paws back to center. Oh. And we'll do 4 poofs. Maybe you haven't poofed for a while. Damn. Don't go too long without poofing, you guys. Now, arms behind your back, up your chakras, behind your neck. This is scientifically proven. Poof, to give you poof of your own well-being. Up your back, behind your neck. You don't need evidence anymore. You want poof. Evidence leads you toward a conclusion. Proof is you don't need evidence anymore. Poof. Concept becomes reality. Theory becomes experience. That's what we like. Poof. And we're going to do a bonus poof today because it's today. Is that not sufficient reason? Plus, they just feel good. Poof. Arms out. Now, just notice at which point this pose becomes, let's not do this anymore. You're thinking, especially when you strongly dorsiflex your wrists and you're pushing out through the heels of your hands and you're actually relaxing your shoulders. Your eyes are closed and you're doing this weird thing called experiencing your experience. And when you experience your experience, it doesn't get stored in your body for processing later. Some of us did that. We grew up in unusual stress or dysfunction or whatever, and we couldn't address it at the time. So our body says, no worries, I'll just store it for later. Bodies are really good at that. Oh, and relax your arms down. Oh, whew, I feel good. All right, now from here, nothing. I don't mean to be sneaky, but I'm trying to trick us into the gaps in between our thoughts. All right, now arms out, palms up to receive alms, alms for palms, and pull in and do a little brush. and around the front. Oops, blocks in the way. Pull in and give a satisfying little brush on the side. Ooh. And around the front. This is really good for those stiff, crunchy, frozen shoulders that so many humans suffer from. Good. Now, pause with your paws at your side. Soft hands. Gaze down, find your drishti, your gaze point. Soft half gaze at one little point. And let's say our traditional Sunday mantra together. We are calm and peaceful souls. Not all the time, but more of the time. That's what we're looking for. Are you calm and peaceful? Yeah, all the time. Liar. But we get more and more calm and peaceful more and more of the time. Good. Now push out. This is called palmar flexion of your wrist, Arnold palmar flexion. Now go back, brush your kidneys from this side. That soothes your cortisol and adrenaline, the excited chemicals. Circle back, brush forward, smooth rhythmic movements with your friends. It's a moving meditation. Go back. Good. Arms out, palms up, touch your elbows together, which you either can or you can't. Bend your wrists and then lean forward into them. Drop your chin, close your eyes. And I would like for you to go into the closet and shut the door. Pray or meditate. For some, those are synonymous. For some, they're two entirely different things. Just what feels most intuitive to you. Prayer, meditation, contemplation. This sort of exposes whether we like our own company or not. If you like your own company, you're never alone. You always have your best friend. Okie doke. Boy, did you feel that? Wow. Hands can get stiff and crabby if they're not released. That's why you make sure to come to Sunday Sacred Self-Care class every single week without fail. You don't want to miss this, you guys. It's too important. I mean, I don't mean to puff myself up, but actually I do. Other way. Roll your paw. Hey, cat, kitty, kitty, kitty. Hello. Hello. I love you. Oh, did I just get a look of disdain? Oh, I must have done something wrong. I shopped for cat food yesterday, 4 different kinds. Flippy flops, really slow. You just woke up, your flippy flops are barely there. And then you put some coffee on, but you still haven't had any to drink. Then you smell it. And then that first sip, and then the first cup, and the second, and 5th, 20th. Cup your hands at your heart, drop your chin, feel the buzz, the vibration of your head, hands, and heart. That, of course, is thought, feeling, and action merging together. When we can get our thoughts and our feelings and our actions aligned, when we can get those ducks in a row and align that with spirit, you are an unstoppable force in the universe. When they're misaligned or disconnected, we're very stoppable. We're eminently stoppable. So we're going to clean that up. Good job. Okie doke. Now we're going to stretch our legs out because they've been folded up for a long time. And you know, I've got a pretty serious foot fetish. So show me your feet, stretch your toes open. Excuse me. Arms up, stick them up, you guys. You're under arrest. Bend your knees, lean more forward, knuckles on your head. Notice by bending your knees and knuckles on your head, you can lean more forward. Push your knees together, span your baby toes open. Inhale. On exhale, straighten legs, arms up. Oh, way up. Maybe you haven't done this for a while and you're kind of crunchy and bunchy, but you stick with me, kids. We will cross the River Jordan into the promised land together. And arms are down, feet's in. We'll counter pose, buns up. Moderate the duration, the size of the pose to suit your body today. The main thing is the sequence, the synergy of the poses in proper sequence. That's my job. Good. And have a seat. Now, grab a yoga blanket. I need to extra especially wet my whistle today. So have a drink. Smoke them if you got them. Momentary respite. This is the most casual class of the week. We're just friends hanging out, doing animal movements together. You can trust if you're in this environment and just following this, that things are happening on multiple levels that are really good for you and you don't even have to understand it. Isn't that cool? All right, now I'm going to put the blanket underneath my neck whilst I lie on my back, pull my knees in, grab my big toes, and we're going to do a yin pose, about 1 minute of, this pose has two names, happy baby or unhappy baby, depending on whether you do this one very much. Now, if you're a stiffy person, you need big blanket roll underneath your neck. Now you're going to go through the 5 stages: resentment, negotiation, anger, depression. I don't know what they are, but your mind's going to go through these various stages of acceptance or lack of acceptance of this sensation. But you just stick with it. Your hips open, your booty releases, your hammies relax, the shoulders soften, your chin drops. Your hair becomes shiny and more lustrous. And your groins open. Nowadays, you got to fill out all these forms online whenever you sign up for something. You got a new password, new username. They ask you all the same questions, but they never ask you if your groins are open or not. So I am. So we'll open up the groins and the hips. Boredom sets in, distraction. What am I going to do for the rest of my life? What am I going to be when I grow up? Will I ever grow up? I haven't yet. Good, lift up your head, kids, so I can see it. And now we're going to rock and roll, knee to knee, If you can't move at all, boy, have you found the right class, because we're going to get you moving again. And if you have both knees down already, you've kind of maxed it out. So that's probably not happening. So you're somewhere on the spectrum. Good. Stop in the middle. Look up and release, and we'll roll up together or push up together, depending on your proclivity or amatorsclivity. Okay, now we're going to put our feet together and we're going to look at them and we're going to open them up like the exciting part of a Harlequin romance novel. Oh, yeah. Peel your feet open so you can see. Have you seen the bottom of your feet lately? Some people not only have never seen the bottom of their feet, they can barely see their feet anymore. So this is where the elite meet to turn their feet so they can see the whole bottom of them. Huh. That's an interesting view. So congratulate yourself if you can see the bottom of your feet. Now, one way to see more of the bottom of your feet is to open up this a little. So hands on your knees, just kind of pump a little bit. Prime the pump. Pump, pump, pump. If your knees are way up and you're thrown back, this is like it's a little slice of hell, isn't it? But you'll get better. Just come every single week for about rest of your life. You'll be okay. I don't ask much, just everything you got. Can you lean over to the right and straighten your left arm? Ooh, ooh. You might hear a squeak. It's either your groins or there's a mouse underneath your butt. Good. Now it's lean way over here, so it's heck easy to straighten your right arm. Most people don't do this and they just become, what's a technical term for people that don't stretch? Clods, clumps. They become clumps. Now both at the same time. Now you might occasionally hit a pose where you go, you know what? I quit. I've had it. I'm out of here. I need to check my iPad. Somebody might have sent me an email. But no, you stick with it. Commitment is doing what you said you were going to do long after the mood in which you agreed to do it has passed. Good. We're done. See, all you got to do is a little. Now take your opposable thumbs and circulate them around. These things rock. Or as I like to say, ask a group of dolphins to build a city and they'll just laugh at you. Good. Now massage the middle, center, bottom of your feet with your thumbs. This is reflexology, or as one of my friends likes to call it, pseudoscience. He doesn't come to class. So massage the middle, center, bottom of your feet. This is for your heart and lungs. And say you're really angry or resentful. Not that you guys are, but you could show this to your friends who are filled with anger and resentment, and just about a minute of this every day, and anger and resentment is dissipated. Thank God all of us have cleared that up. Yay. All right, good job. Now take these guys and fold them in. Now, if you're a tight person, you can't even get them all the way in, and that's okay, because boy, have you found the right tribe. Some people easily squeeze them all the way in, and then some people even pull the heels all the way into the bottom. Which bottom? Your bottom. So hit your bottom with your heels. Float your head up. Drop your chin. And I bet your shoulders are all pulled up like you're all stressed. So relax your shoulders. Close your eyes. And say to yourself, inside of yourself, I am a calm and peaceful soul, all the while releasing tension and congestion from your body. it makes sense that when we're little kids, there are times and experiences where we don't have the emotional or psychological wherewithal or architecture to address it at the time. So the energy is never lost. First law of thermodynamics, it's got to go somewhere. So our body stores it up and waits for us to get ready, and then we deal with it. Is that fun? Generally not, but it sure is fun when you're done. Good. Now we counterpose by blossoming open a little bit, and let's just grab our big toes. So we'll just do a little bit of balance. If you grab your big toes and lift your feet, then if you're not balancing, you've rolled ass over tea kettle, or your feet keep hitting the floor. So balance is important as we get a little older. Say you're older than 30, you want to keep your balance, right? And then maybe we do happy baby balanced on our booty. Pull the knees way in. Notice when your knees come in, your spine can elongate. Close your eyes. We are calm and balanced souls. Do you see how different this class is from Saturday? Cartwheels and backflips yesterday. Calm and peaceful yoga today. Good, and then just stretch them out if you want. If you're done, maybe you haven't done yoga for a little while, you just get out the popcorn and watch the other people do their thing. This is the picture on my business card. It says, yes, we're open. Good, now brings them back in for a landing. Bump. Good. Now, can you lean down into your groinage a little bit? Now, here's the deal. Occasionally, you're going to run into a pose that's not your favorite. So that's why God invented props, so you can put something here. I see one of our wise friends put a block here, and she's resting her forehead on a block. Now remember, you're not comparing yourself to anybody else in class. Comparison is the thief of joy. So this is where you get to go steady with yourself. Getting quiet and present is the most healing, productive thing that we can do. I'm not saying it's the only thing, but it is the most important thing. Getting that conscious contact, that spiritual alignment, doesn't matter what you call it. Okay, my friends, that was a nice little salvo of that. And now you can move your accoutrement off to the side. Good job. And from here, sorry, I've got stuff to get out of the way. From here, we're going to do a nice restorative. Now we're kind of moving into some restorative, even longer poses. And we need a good twist. And I need one too to squeeze out the ick inside of me. So please put your bolster or big pillows or blankets out in front of you like this. This is my favorite restorative twist, or one of about 7, but it's really good. It's a good Sunday one. And there'll probably be, golly, 2 to 3 minutes on each side of it. So prepare to get unusually happy, if you would. Now, If you can pick up your bolster, we'll do some John Bradshaw inner child work together. Just kidding. Okay, so your bolster's out in front of you. Turn your knees. So I'm like the guy directing the Southwest airline plane. So knees to the left. Pull the bolster into your R hip. Put your R hand on the bolster for support. Now these knees here, they shift around behind you and that you line up your knees and your ankles. I call it mermaid pose. It could just as easily be mermail, but if you look behind you, you just kind of pull your heels into your bottom. And in my general experience of life, without trying to stereotype, I think it seems to be more of a feminine pose to sit in mermaid, both hands on the bolster. And then push into the bolster and lean back to stretch this right here, these guys. Lean back. This might already be a challenge. You might be saying, oof, turn to the right. Now put your right hand on the floor over here. Now look over your right shoulder like there's a predator over there and it's like, oh, is that a saber-toothed tiger or is that a shadow? Turn more to the right. Good. Now, if you're a stiffy person, keep the bolster where it is. If you're just kind of a middle of the road purse, then your bolster goes to 1 o'clock. And maybe if you're bendier, you take it over to 2 o'clock. Now I'm going to twist my belly way over to the right. I'm aiming my t-shirt down. And I recommend right ear, even if you're a bendy. Okay. I'm going to cough and mute for a moment, but y'all just relax with wide elbows, okay? Okay, this is yin/restorative. So that means long time, super relaxing, extra passive, very weighty, and the tincture of time. And then the more you relax, generally speaking, the wider you can get your elbows out. And then you've done the possible. Now the pose does the rest. If you need to sleep, you can fall asleep. And your body, this is a body weight twist. And this pose, sometimes you do a pose and sometimes the pose does you. And if it just circumstantially happens to feel really, really good, please continue. You deserve it. You're worthy of it. Halfway in, you'll be amazed before you're halfway through with this pose. Naturally, I believe you'll notice the size, the volume of your breath increases. A little more inhale, a little more exhale. One more minute. Okay, the key to coming out of this pose is slowly. So draw your paws in, and all I want you to do is to come up on your elbows, okay? So I call this pillow talk. Now, from the belt line down, nothing has changed. We might call this teenagers texting pose, because teenagers are so flexible, they can text in what adults would consider to be painful positions. So here's what's interesting about this pose. Please watch. From my belt line down is going to remain stationary. Now watch what I do. Don't do it. What's interesting is I could take my chest and I could rotate it 180 degrees up to the ceiling. Don't do it yet. I'm just going to turn my chest up to the ceiling. Now, if you're a stiffy person, this is really good for you. And this is as far as you can go. Now, I'm not going to do it today because of post-nasal drip. I can't do it, but I could just easily lay on my back and my lower body hasn't moved at all. So come up on your hands. I'll walk you through this. If you're a stiffy person, don't overdo it. Put your right hand over here. Take your left arm up and over and turn your chest up to the ceiling. Now, if you're a bendy person, you can just lay on your back with immunity and impunity, and your lower body hasn't moved at all. And if you're just kind of an adult who's kind of crunchy, your hands are back here and you're just leaning back a little bit thinking, I like that previous pose better. Now, circus performers, after laying on their back, will just grab their elbows up over their head, and we've affectionately named that movie star pose. Now, I want you to realize conceptually that your lower body has not moved and your upper body has rotated 180 degrees. That's how amazing your body is. If you can't lay on your back yet, just show up a couple months and I'll get you. This pose is more vigorous than the previous one, but it's still yin, Y-I-N. Yin is an acronym. It stands for why I in this pose so long. Isn't it amazing our body can do this, or can almost do it, or can do it again in the future if we're interested in getting our body functional and frisky again? Now, while you guys are relaxing, I see at least 3 cats going by your screen. So cats know when it's a good class. They're going, Mom, Dad, this is a good one. This guy knows what he's talking about. Okay, now the key to getting out of this predicament is slowly. So just one of the best parts of yoga is you know how to get yourself out of a predicament. So get out of this one. And we will unfurl ourselves back around to square one. Give me a thumbs up if you like that sequence. Give me 2 thumbs up if you thought, hey, that was really smart how you rotated the torso and you recognize how intelligent that sequence is. Excellent. Thank you. Your thumbs are looking good today. So now we've squared up the bolster back to 12 o'clock. We're sitting in Sukhasana, cross legs, tall spine. Now I've got an idea. Before we do the other side, let's chant an Om together. And I would suggest chanting loud enough that you don't listen to my froggy, croaky voice. Okay. Big inhale. Remember, Om for as long as you can. Feel that. Good. Now, some say the longer that you can own means the longer that you'll remain alive. I believe the evidence is anecdotal, but you'll prove it in your own life. Now, take these knees, and I'm going to Southwest Airlines move our knees over to the right. Put your left hand on the bolster. Give it a pat. By the way, if the animals I saw going by, if it happened to be a dog instead of a cat, I apologize to your dog. Now, take your knees around behind you, mermaid pose. Cross your ankles and pull your heels into your bottom. And you want the tightest mermaid pose you can get, heels all the way in, both hands on the bolster. Push into the bolster, lean back. Lean back. Oh, that's a good stretch of your transverse. Now, left hand over here, turning. Now, look over your left shoulder. See if there's a predator or an alligator back there. The great baseball pitcher Satchel Paige said, just because you're not paranoid doesn't mean there's not somebody chasing you. Good. Now take the stiffy people, bolster stays where it is. Mediums go to 11. Bendy bears go to 10. Now, this is the 180-degree turn of our belly buttons and chest down. You come down in super slow motion. And if it was any other day, it's not. So I'm saying left ear, left ear, left ear, dear. Now, if you're tight, you're kind of up on your elbows going, oh God, and then you broaden your elbows out, and I come by and I put 14 sandbags all over you, and I've got you pinned in bliss. 2 minutes, sleepy times. No rush. We usually go to about 12:15, so we're right on schedule. The divine orchestrator of the universe is pulling the strings. Yay. And permission to relax for a couple of weeks or months of tension and built up anxiety or turbulence, or a couple of years or decades. Visualize a bag of bones or a sack of clams dropped onto the floor. Good. We're staying in the pose. Try a really big, deep inhale in the midst of the twist. Big inhale. Big outhale. Relax more. Okay. Now, just up on your elbows on the bolster, teenagers texting pose. Send you a text. How do you like this pose? This is a really good one. Now, you remember what happens from here? You put your left hand down, you take your right arm and you sweep your chest up to God, and your right hand goes behind you. And if you're tight, you can't lay on your back yet. And boy, are you in the right place. You just tolerate this for a few moments. Love and tolerance is our key. And movie star bendy bears are just going to lay back with their elbows over our head. Are we going to be resentful or jealous of them? Probably. But then we can work out some resentment and jealousy against the bendy peoples. Don't worry, it won't last too long unless you don't like it. I'd lean back, but I would drown in a flood of mucus. Sorry. Relax. Love the fact your torso can rotate 180 degrees. Say you're a golfer, for example, and it's like, this is how come you can hit it so far. So far. Big inhale. And an exhale. And let's unwind from this. I always try to remember when I get one of these sinus infections to re-record my voicemail so nobody knows who I am. Okay, now we're sitting back here. I hope you like that sequence. Now, just one more. This sequence is if you ever feel restless, irritable, and discontent. So what you do is you stick your right leg out like this. And you take your left ankle like this, and it goes over the top. Now, say your right shin does not fold in all the way. You could just pull it in a little bit, but you try to fold it under. This pose is called Yogasana, and it's designed to cultivate and assimilate the feeling of grounding energy. It's the energy that moves downward. Yogis talk of Vayu, V-A-Y-U, these rivers of energy that run through our body. There are 5 primary. Apana is the one that pulls down. It makes you feel rooted, grounded, stable, peaceful, and calm, whatever those feelings are. Then your arms join in the fun. Your arms go out, and your right arm goes on top of your left. And you relax your hands, you close your eyes, and you drop your chin. And you just settle for a few moments. We are calm and peaceful souls. Good. Now, open your eyes and extend wings out. Now we're going to dig out trauma and tension and tribulation that has been stored in our neck, back, and shoulders. That's where it goes. Now, right arm under, and just grabbing your shoulders is dang good progress for most humans. And then when your shoulders open up enough, you can fold your arms like this, and you just go up and down to dig out the silly stuff that our elders taught us when we were kids. They meant well. They were just, well, crazy. Now, elbows to the right, face left, head tilts left. Close your eyes. We're in the Om stretch, the OM stretch, not the OMG stretch. You feel this whole left side of your back rib cage. Man, that is just cinched up on a lot of people, and they wonder why they feel tension. Good. Now come back to the front. Relax your arms out. Now take your left knee and brings it up like this. Now, you stiffy bears, try to get your right wrist in front of your knee, or your elbow would be good progress. Tuck your thumb in. Bend your bears, left hand down, right arm up. Inhale. On exhale, turn more left because it's a left twist. Hook your elbow outside your knee. Turn your right forearm up. And then let's all twist and shout to the left for 30 seconds. This is a bodily prayer. It's a bodily meditation. It's a hieroglyph. Not trying to make anything happen. We're letting things happen. Good. Now undoes your elbow, undoes your legs, extend your left leg out. We'll do the sequence on the other side, and then I'll release you into delicious finishing Shavasana. Grab righty ankle, put it here. If lefty won't fold in all the way, just kind of bring it in till you get to that aha place. Otherwise, it folds under. Then your right knee drops. My teachers, yoga teachers would come by and put sandbags on your right leg to rip your hips open. That's one way to do it. Arms out, kitty cats. Glider pilots. Now left forearm on top, elbows and wrists line up. Hands go, ah. Now on this side, chin is level, eyes are closed. And please put the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth. And in your mind's eye, with your eyes closed, visualize a beautiful stream of golden or silver or white light cascading down through the crown of your head, spreading down through your body. Visualize it, think it, feel it, whatever your means of imagination is. And say to yourself inside of yourself, I am a calm and peaceful soul. The I am is the strongest declarative in the universe. It's the word of God within to say, I am. Good. Now broaden arms out for big hugs. Now left arm under, and if you can't fold your arms up yet, it's pretty cool just to grab your shoulders and kind of make out with yourself, and then fold your arms up if they does, and then lefts and rights and ups and downs to dig out that stuff that happened in 3rd grade and 4th grade, 5th grade, junior high school. That was a mess. Good. Now elbows all the way to the left, face all the way to the right. Tilt your head to the right, close your eyes. Be unusually happy for no reason. That's a good idea. See, it's not any one pose that we did. It's the sequence. Yogis call it, it's the vinyasa, the thread of them, THREAD. Good, and release out of that nice shoulder, neck, back thingy opener. Release out. Finishing twist. Right knee comes in. So I've taught this pose to many people over the years, and some friends, there's not a lot here yet. So just left wrist in front, left elbow hugs in, guts get out of the way. This is dang good. Bendy bears, right hand down, left arm up. Reach up and touch the sky, turn right, come forward, elbow outside your knee, left forearm reaches up. There's even more options, of course. You could reach down and grab your foot, turn right, close your eyes. Now, let the pose do you, okay? You do the possible, God will do the impossible. And if you show up with diligence and faith, with your current capacity, and do what you can do, then you'll always be given more facility, resource, capacity. But if we don't use what we have, why would we get more? We would just probably misbehave with it. Big inhale. And on outhale, release out. Okay, now I would like it if you would lie on your back with blankets and bolsters underneath your knees and eye pillows and more blankets and cats and dogs and blah, blah, blah. And I am officially contracted to not bother you during these 5 minutes because I've bothered you enough already, okay? So extra super duper relaxing pose. You guys did good. You earned your keep. Time to reap the benefits. List of bliss. Wiggle your legs, jiggle your booties, relax your shoulder blades, palms up, swallow, gulp. All right, and stay in the pose, relax more, surrender, release more, no rush. Now, here's the Sunday ritual that we do. It's always an option, but if you would like to invite God, love, source, spirit, infinite, higher organizing presence into your being, now is a good time to do it when there's a nice blending of soul and spirit. Of course, it's your language, it's your understanding, but you could crack open the door of your heart and say, come on in, infinite, higher organizing principle. And if you prayed that little prayer with me, because I did, I believe you've got a fresh dose of inspiration, guidance, love, bliss, truth, beauty. Nice deep breath back in your bod, wiggling your fingers and toes. It's all about alignment, kids. Good, and when you're ready, you can draw your knees in and curl onto your right side. Take your time. Good, and then keeping our eyes closed, we'll sit up nice and slow and reassemble our spines for conclusion. And our bodies fit better, don't they? They kind of fit better. So the hands curl nicely into the heart in prayer, chin drops. And then I would invite you to feel holy, sacred, and reverent toward whatever you feel holy, sacred, and reverent toward. And I believe if you go deeply enough into you and I go deeply enough into me, we come to the same place together. And yogis call that namaste.